Hello everyone. This is Yana Smakula. Welcome back to my channel. This is day 4 of the Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar. If you have missed previous days, I do have video tutorials for each day so far. Check out those videos. I have links in the video description below. So let's take a look at day 4. Day 4 brings us a beautiful set of banner dies. There is one outer banner die and then 3 different inserts. There is an insert for a birthday themed card. It says happy birthday. A thank you insert. It says thanks so much. And a hello insert. It says hello friend. I'm going to work with a thanks so much insert, and I'm going to create one of those typical Yana dramatic cards. So here I have my Platinum 6 die cutting and embossing machine. I have taped the 2 dies together, the outer banner die and then the inner sentiment die. I have taped them together using my Bastera craft tape. I have die cut 1 layer using cardstock from the Treasured Cardstock pack from Spellbinders. This is the Pearl Metallic cardstock. You can also use Mere Gold. But this particular cardstock, it gives a softer shine. It's like comparing the regular foil, if you do hot foil stamping, and the matte gold foil. The regular foil is very shiny, while the matte gold foil is softer. Still gold, but softer. I also die cut banners, the same banners from the Spellbinders brushed black cardstock. It is one of my favorite papers. I love using specialty papers, specialty cardstock for my cards, because when you use specialty cardstock, paper with some sort of shine or shimmer, it adds a lot of wow to your projects, especially if your project is very simple. I have also used the same paper to dry emboss the background. Here is a look at that background. I used my Amaryllis folder, 3D embossing folder, to dry emboss this background using the brushed black cardstock. Even though this is Christmas design, a Christmas flower, you can still use it all year round for other projects. By the way, here is a look at the cards that have inspired this design. I have shared these cards previously on my blog, and these are some of my favorites. I still have them because, well, they're black and not everybody understands a black card, but I love them. I keep them. I treasure them, and they're my favorites. So this card is going to have a very similar look and feel. Now here I have an A2 card base, and you can see that there is a white border, like a little white gap. This happens because when you dry emboss a panel, if you cut your panel to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches and you dry emboss it using 3D embossing folder, the embossing folder needs room to emboss the design into the paper, and so the paper shrinks. So you will end up having a slightly shorter panel once you emboss it. If you don't want this, if you want to emboss a full panel, a full embossed panel for an A2 card, just cut your paper larger, and then you'll end up having a large panel that you can trim down to cover the entire front of an A2 card. I personally like the shrinkage because it gives me a little bit of that white border. I don't mind it. It adds a nice, interesting detail to the card. I'm using glue and going to adhere several banners together to make this banner a lot more dimensional and a lot sturdier. So I've added barely art glue to the back of the gold die cut, and I'm stacking 2 black die cuts from the back. I'm using my fingers, or rather fingernails, and I'm cleaning up the edges of the die cut, removing the extra die cut hairs that are left there by the die. This card features a very simple design with an embossed background and a die cut sentiment, but I still want to add a little bit of something extra. So I have these heart dies. This is from an older die set from Spellbinders, from the Parcel and Post collection. You can use any heart dies that you might have in your stash, and I'm going to die cut them from the same cardstock, from the same Pearl Metallic cardstock, but I also want to add a little bit of foam adhesive from the back. So here I have these very old double-sided foam adhesive sheets from Scrapbook Adhesive. I'm going to adhere a panel of cardstock onto the foam adhesive and then die cut that in my Platinum 6 die cutting and embossing machine. I first tried cutting these separately. So I first die cut the hearts, then I die cut the foam adhesive, and I was planning to glue them together. But when you add the cardstock onto the foam adhesive and die cut it like that, it gives you a slightly different looking die cut. Like the edges are more rounded. And I like that. I like when the edges are a lot more rounded on the finished die cut. So here I have the hearts. I ended up cutting 5 and I ended up using 5 for my card. I added 2 scrap white cardstock panels from the back of my dry embossed background. I do this to add sturdiness to the piece. And I'm also going to use those to add a little bit of dimension to this card. I adhere the background onto an A2 top folding card base. You can see I have a little bit of that white gap at the bottom. I love it. I added the sentiment in the center a little bit closer to the top, and I embellished the card with my die cut hearts. I also added a few gems. I used the black gems from Spellbinders, and I scattered these smaller gems in between the hearts, adding a little bit of sparkle to this project, and I love the result. This banner die, of course, can be used in so many different ways. You can cut it from colored cardstock. You can cut it from white. It is up to you. It doesn't have to be black and gold. I just happen to really love this color combination, and I happen to feel inspired by it. So this is a look at the day 4 of the Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar. I hope you are opening your Advent Calendar together with me. If you do not yet have your Advent Calendar, check out the Spellbinders website. I believe these Advents are still available, so go ahead and grab yours and maybe open it. Start opening it once you receive it, or you can save it for next year. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. Love you guys, and I'm hoping to be back tomorrow with day 5.